Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ginika Temple. If you're new here, you're very welcome. If you're returning, thank you for being back. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. For today's look, I'm using the STILA One Step Primer. This primer typically works as a moisturizer and also acts as a primer. Like, it just has a way of just making the skin feel ready for makeup. I proceeded to use the Real Technique foundation brush to apply the NARS Radiant Longwear foundation all over the face. There's something about this foundation that has got me hooked for a while now. I love the coverage. I love how rich it feels on the skin. I love the fact that it allows me blend until I'm satisfied before I feel this matte effect and all that. Like, you're free to blend until you like what you see. Now use a damp beauty sponge to press everything into the skin. Remember that doing this, you have to ensure that you're very gentle with the tapping. Do not rush this process because that would make the finished look to look kind of like rushed and rough. You don't want to experience that, so take your time to blend out all the products into the neck and behind the ears as well. Now I'm using the concealer. This shade is about 3 shades lighter because I want to have this really bright effect under the eyes. So I was comfortable with using this shade because I know that the color she has on the shade of the foundation is going to help to tone it down. So I was very relaxed knowing that at the end of the day I'm going to have the coverage and the brightening effect that I was looking for. Now this is a technique I do once in a while. I usually would spray the face using a setting spray to help to set the concealer and the foundation before going in with my beauty sponge. If you don't do this, it's still okay. It's not something that is highly compulsory, but I decided to do it for this look because I wanted to have something that will be more long lasting and also to have this really flawless finish with my blending. So take your time with the blending, ensure that the products are well seated in, nothing is looking like it's hanging here or there. Like, you just can't rush the process of your blending, guys. If you know you're trying to achieve a perfect skin work, you need to take your time when it comes to your blending. If you rush the process, it's going to not look the same. Now I'm using a concealer that is slightly brighter to brighten up the inner corners of the eyes only, not the whole under eye area, just the inner corners of the eyes, because I just want the inner corners to appear way more alive. Now to contour, I'm using the Fenty Beauty concealer in the shade 490, as you can see on your screen, to snatch the nose. If you haven't seen my tutorial on face contouring, I'm going to leave a link for that in the description. Please be sure to go watch it, and also be sure to check out the tutorial where I did the beginner eyebrow tutorial. These 2 tutorials are highly recommended for you to understand the steps that I may not necessarily start explaining in this video. So check that out in the description and you will find those links. Please be sure to watch and leave a comment if you did enjoy it. So now I'm blending out the concealers on the cheeks using my beauty sponge, another part of the beauty sponge, so that I don't mix up all the products on the sponge. So take your time with the blending and ensure that you're contouring right, guys. Like, just take your time. If you need to sleep on it. Like, just take your time and blend until there are no lines, until nothing is looking unfinished. Now I'm proceeding to use this MERAK setting powder in the shade cinnamon to set under the eyes. So try as much as possible to first start with a very thin layer and then just set to mattify the whole under eye area, mattify all the highlighted areas. Once you've done this, you can now proceed to apply the quantity you want to last through the whole process. So I usually will advise, if you don't use a thin layer first, then you can go ahead to use your pressed powder. Use that before you apply the proper setting powder for the whole process, because if you don't do that, sometimes the setting powder gets to mix with the concealer and gives you this patchy finish. If you are a beginner to this, like I said, the link to the contouring that I will leave in the description will be a guide as to how you should do this process. Now when you're doing this, just ensure that you're focusing only on the highlighted areas. Do not let the setting powder go to the contour zone because it's going to reduce the effects of the contour. You can see the way I'm carefully placing this setting powder just on the highlighted areas only. Try as much as possible to avoid the contour zones for now. That is the sides of the nose and then the cheeks. Wherever you initially placed the dark concealer, this is not the time to put any products. This is the time to highlight the areas you initially highlighted. Now I'm just only doing this with my setting powder. So when you do this, just make sure that you just give it, a soft touch, a soft tap, so it doesn't look too harsh. Now I'm proceeding to use my blush, and this is one of my recent fave. Like, I'm loving this product so much by the day. It's from NARS and it's the shade Exhibit A. This is something that really works well for people with medium complexion and also for people that are dark. I haven't tried it on someone that is very light, so I can't tell you for sure what it will look like. I'm using this Beauty by Jones brow pencil to work on the brows. This procedure is something that I find very therapeutic because I just spend my time doing those lines, being highly careful with where I place the pencil and ensuring that my pencil is doing the job. If your pencil is acting funny, maybe you're just using the wrong shade of pencil, or maybe the skin is not well prepped. Like, these are some of the things that can make your eyebrow work to be more difficult. Some people find it easier to use brow gel. You can also try that option to see how it works for you. But I myself, I'm kind of like indifferent when it comes to my brows. I just use pencil most of the time, but sometimes I feel bored using pencil, so I find myself going in with my gel liner. So whichever one works for you, give it a try and then find out which one you want to settle for. Now, the flat brush is so important because if you're using the wrong brush to conceal your brows, most likely everything is going to be looking all over the place, and your goal is to ensure you have a very straight line. And the easiest way to achieve a straight line when concealing your brow is to ensure that the brush you're using is super flat. It doesn't matter if you're using the wrong brush. If it's giving you the right outcome, I would say go for it. Like, it's not a do or die. You just have to do what works for you. Makeup is not one size fits all, like I always say. Do what works for you. What matters is that you achieve the desired result. So now I'm using the same concealer that I used to initially highlight the face, and I'm using it to clean up the bottom part of my brows. Like, this is one of the most important part of your brow, if not the most important, because this is what finally gives the brow the final shape, gives it the pop, gives it the structure that you're looking for. And remember that you have to always go in either with a beauty sponge or a fluffy brush to blend in all the products. Do not leave the concealer hanging all over the face unblended. That would always make it difficult for you to achieve a flawless finish. Now I'm using a foundation at the beginning part of the brows. It's up to you if you want to use your concealer all over, but I don't do that because I like when the beginning part of the brow looks so natural. I try as much as possible to ensure that the beginning of the brows are really soft, it's not looking too harsh. Now I'm proceeding to set the base of the eyelid with the Rumor 7. You can get this from P. Louise. It comes in various shades, so it's up to you what shade you want. I usually like the darker shades because whenever I'm doing the color like what I'm going to use right now, I prefer darker colors of the eyeshadow base. But if you prefer to use the brighter ones, that's okay too. I use the bright ones when I'm trying to achieve bright eyeshadow colors. That's not what we're doing for today. So I proceeded to work on the outer corners of the eyelid using my crease brush, using the brown eyeshadow first, and now I'm proceeding to use this orange color. So it's up to you what shade of orange works. Remember, when it comes to makeup, forget about the way the name sounds, forget about how the color orange sounds in your ear. Trust me, you can still achieve a very neutral looking look even when you wear colors. It all depends on how you wear your colors. It all depends on what you place, how you place it, your complexion, and so many things, guys. Like, it's just try as much as possible not to be too hard on yourself when it comes to makeup and colors. She's wearing colors, but it doesn't look like she's wearing color. You get what I mean? Like, it just looks soft. It doesn't look all over the place. That was the goal, and I'm so happy that we achieved what we were out for. Now I'm using this Polar B gel liner. This is one of it's a very good one. Trust me, this is not an advert. I love the Polar Beach gel liner so much because it doesn't dry up like the stuff you have in the pot doesn't dry up so fast like so many other products. I've had this particular pot for so long, and the product in the pot is still the way, maybe not the way it was the day I started using it, but it's way better than how most products are after a while. It doesn't really dry up so fast, and I just like how the product on the skin dries, but the one in the pot stays as long as possible and still stays fresh. I never got to use a reviver, guys, and I mean it when I say this is not an advert for Polar B. Their gel liner is very good. I'm going to drop a tutorial on how to wing your eyes. Trust me, this is something you would want to look out for in my subsequent videos. Do not miss it for anything. And this is just to say, if you haven't turned on the notification bell, what are you waiting for? Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss when I drop new videos. You don't want to miss out on anything. You don't want to miss out on any giveaways that I may have soon. You want to be the first to be notified when I drop a tutorial or when I drop any video on my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, like, what are you waiting for? This lashes is unbranded, which is the reason why I'm not showing it. I'm not showing because I don't remember what the name is. The pack that I have right now doesn't show any name, but I will confirm for subsequent videos. And if you really like the lashes, tell me in the comments that you want to know the name, so I would know that some people are looking out for that. Now I proceeded to line the lips using the Steph Dora Beauty lip stain. This is a very dark brown shade. If you're light skinned, you may want to go for a lighter shade of brown, unless you like the really defined ombre effect. But then this one works for most people, but on light people you may feel like it's a little too dark. So if you prefer it to be lighter, go for it. So I'm proceeding to use a nude color in the middle, and I gave it a really good blend using this lip brush. So I gave it the blend until I was satisfied with what I was seeing, and then I proceeded to apply a little bit of lip gloss. I love gloss, like, I can't help it, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry but not sorry. So if you don't like gloss, you can leave it matte, but like me, I like gloss, and I had to go in with lip gloss. The lip gloss always makes all the difference. Like, I can't even imagine a look without gloss in this day and age. But trust me when I say it's okay to not like gloss. Trust me, just do whatever works for you. Now we are almost coming to the end of this look, and then after applying the lip gloss, I proceeded to blend out the setting powder I have on the face. You can do this with just a powder brush, or you can do this using just a clean brush and your pressed powder. It's all up to you, guys. Whatever works for you is fine. There are no rules. There's no hard or fast routes to this thing. At this point, I still felt that my gloss was not glossing, so I had to go back to top up my gloss just a little bit. Trust me, you're free to build your product until you're satisfied. If you feel like what you applied the first time was not enough, that's okay. You can always go back to retouch and just apply a little more product. But if you felt like what you did was good, you didn't need to stress too much about it, you don't need to touch up, then that's fine. So back to the powder. So I'm using the Sephora powder. I got this powder recently, and I must tell you, I'm loving what I see. Right, you're free to use a powder that is one shade lighter if you want to achieve that bright under eye effect. If not, use your normal powder. Back with my Tilbury setting spray, and I just used it to lock the look. Like I always do, I block the eyes just to avoid any contact with the setting spray on the eyes. Now using the Fenty Beauty highlighter to finish the look, guys. This look was given. It was given. My girl was loving it. Everything was really beautiful. It was subtle. It wasn't harsh. The wing was winging, and I totally did enjoy creating this look. Thanks for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe. Thank you. See you soon.